GTA 6 workers fired to prevent a union forming, it's alleged. Now, that's one way to quickly come and stomp this shit down. Oh, we have our resident union expert up here. But before that, let's go through this. In a new report, it has been claimed that dozens of Rockstar Games employees have been fired for misconduct in a way that might have been a twisted form of union busting. Union busting, that's a nice combination. The report, originally published by Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, claims that between 30 and 40 Rockstar Games employees in the UK and Canada were terminated, and they were allegedly all part of a private trade union chat on Discord. I'm just going to say that part again. A private trade union chat on Discord. Rockstar Games is preparing to launch GTA 6 in just a few months, assuming there's no more delays. All being well, the studio has been piecing together an open-world crime epic for years, and fans eagerly awaiting the delivery of what will arguably be the largest game launch in history. But the most recent bit of news involving Rockstar Games isn't positive. Bloomberg recently reported that Rockstar Games laid off 30 to 40 employees, labeling their dismissal as terms of misconduct. However, a spokesperson of the Independent Workers Union of Great Britain, say that 10 times, claimed that it's an attempt to prevent a unionization amongst the team members. Rockstar has just carried out the most blatant and ruthless acts of union busting in the history of the games industry. This flagrant contempt for the law and the lives of the workers who bring their billions is an insult to us fans and the global industry. Take-Two refuted the claim, suggesting that all the firings took place because of gross misconduct, but all the employees were dismissed at the same time per reports, and all of them were found to be a new private chat on Discord related to unionization. What a time we're living in, by the way. Like, just to interrupt right there, we are living in the time where unions are being formed on private Discord chats. Now, in a Discord chat of 30 to 40 people, I want to know which ones were the Discord kittens. Rockstar Games has mostly avoided the waves of layoffs that have hit the industry over the last couple of years. Take-Two, the company's parent firm, hasn't fared as well. In April 2024, the game titan laid off around 5% of all employees in a bid to streamline the business. Cream, what the fuck?
Okay, so I have kind of two thoughts about this, right? There's an either or here, and one is going to cause Rockstar to have a large legal headache, and the other means they're fine. Well, somewhat. If they fire people for no reason, they're still going to be in legal trouble, right? So let's say there is gross misconduct, right, from all these people, and it's a coincidence that they all happen to be in a Discord trying to form a union. Let's say that's what happened. Rockstar's totally in the right if there's gross misconduct. A lot of companies have morality clauses that people agree to when they sign up. When you do that, you kind of waive your rights to your job if you do something that the company deems is inappropriate, right? That's what happens. Here's the interesting part. Did these people, was it publicly known that they were trying to start a union? Right? Because union busting, from what I remember, you kind of actually have to tell the company we're working towards forming a union.
Okay.
And basically the company is now can't do anything against you recourse wise. It's against the law because you're trying to form a union. Now, if you're talking privately, that doesn't apply. A private Discord doesn't mean you've contacted Rockstar Games and said, hey, we're going to be forming a union, or we're planning on forming a union, right? So there is none of that hands-off union busting shit. They can kind of bust a union if it's not even being, like, if they just find out you're trying to form a union and you don't tell them you're trying to form a union, like, yeah, I'm sorry, you should have told them. If you had 30 to 40 employees, you should have said, hey, we're trying to form a union. Then they wouldn't have done this. There's that. Now, if the company was told specifically by these people, we're trying to form a union, and they did this is illegal, at least up here in Canada, and I would assume it's very similar laws in the UK. That's really bad. The other thing of gross misconduct, if these people are able to prove that there was no gross misconduct, which is going to be kind of a difficult thing, but if they're able to prove it, then Rockstar is also in legal trouble. I think they kind of made a bit of a fuck up here. The best way to handle this stuff is basically butter people up. That honestly, as a company, all you have to do is be super extra nice to your employees for a couple months, right? Or even permanently. Hey, it's not a. I mean, you're Rockstar Games. I think you can afford a couple like nice perks for all your employees, right? You're the biggest game studio in the world. If you do that, then you don't have to worry about unions, which is going to cause a lot of headaches for you. And it creates loyalty amongst your employees, which means you're not going to have like high turnover rates either. That helps. So honestly, this was pretty avoidable from Rockstar. We have seen a couple things where we're like, this is not quite the same Rockstar as it was back in the day.
I agree
or
with that.
even 5 years ago.
I think you and me have kind of had arguments before about that, honestly. But on that note, I think just for the sake of keeping it simple, to be determined.
Yeah, of course. And because they do this shady business practice does not necessarily mean the quality of GTA 6 is going to be bad, right? That's apples. That is actually apples and oranges, right?
I don't think it's more so a quality thing. It's more so of a content thing.
Yeah, but I don't even necessarily know because a lot of the content has already been made for this game. This game is content-wise has been made besides like online. They're going to be in like the bug fixing phase. This game comes out in
By
less than 6
content, I
months.
mean like what is it? Is it like toned down and stuff like that? Now the quality is
we
I
kind
don't
of
think
seen,
anyone
we kind of saw from the what do you call it, the like billboards and stuff in the background. I don't think it's necessarily toned down from GTA 5. GTA 5 is definitely toned down from 4, but I think this is kind of
I think the 4 even 4's toned down from the PS2 ones and all that. But I will admit, when I saw those billboards, I was a bit less worried. But again, just to avoid an argument while we're talking about unions, which we all hate, to be determined.
Yeah, and again, the union thing, unions, I do think end up being really bad for the people in them. They end up causing a lot of problems. They end up sheltering really bad employees that cause problems for people who actually just go in there, do their job, go home, that type of stuff. I'm not a fan of unions unless it is a situation where there is actually a terrible working environment, right? Not even like just necessarily dangerous, like a terrible working, like Amazon warehouses are notoriously bad. Those are
3 seconds to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, you get 3 seconds, and by the way, you work in the middle of it. Like it's going to take your entire lunch break to go to the bathroom, to walk there because the buildings are so big. There's a lot of problems with that, and that's a place where I would be like, I understand a union. Rockstar Games, I do not understand a union. The only complaint you could probably have is unpaid overtime, which is bullshit. But I don't know if that's worth a union. I think that's honestly, I don't know. Maybe threaten a union to get them to actually pay you overtime. That maybe.
Don't worry.
Actually, doing a union is stupid.
I have the perfect response to this. Love fist.